So currently, currently I am. I want to call myself like a 3D digital fashion, and just 3D generalist designer. So I've been dwelling into digital fashion nowadays. I mean, with the whole thing of the avatars, metahumans. I do 3D freelance every now and then, like
Mhm.
just gigs that people ask me to do in 3D. Like you guys know, like when I did work for you guys.
Mhm.
But yeah, just 3D in general. Like I want to specialize also in the metaverse and in digital identity, all these kind of topics that we can talk about later.
So where
Nah.
did this passion for like 3D things come from, man?
The passion for 3D.
Yeah.
Uh, Honestly, I think video games. Like all of this comes from video games. Like, oh man, like I always wanted to live inside a video game. Like ever since I had like I mean, even before the PlayStation One, like I play video games on Windows XP, Windows 95, and it's a typical life of us, half millennials, half Gen Z that we are.
Yeah.
Just want to be in a video game, want to create my own thing.
So Pablo, we were in went to UT Dallas together, and we were in the undergraduate success scholars. So I know you shared with USS kind of your journey and how you got into kind of the graphic art space or the 3D space at UTD. Can you talk a bit about that, because it's super inspiring?
Oh man, appreciate you, Jason. Yeah, it was so I went to UTD because I wanted to do mechanical engineer. Um, so back in Mexico, I mean I got into video games. I always was interested in electronics. I always like if something was wrong with any device from the home, like they call me to like pull the plug, like fix the cable, like all these little things.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me do all that. And then I got into, okay, it's time to go to high school in Mexico, and what am I gonna do for my career? Oh, robotics. And people were like, okay, robotics, good money, robotics.
Yeah.
Sure, and that's what I wanted to do. But then I moved it to the U.S. And then mechanical engineering was like the thing. So I told people I want to work with robots, and they were like, okay, mechanical engineer, and then robotics can be a thing. So that's why I came for UTD. But man, it was a mess. Like the whole transition, and mechanical engineering just didn't go well. Like first semester, I was not in the math that I was supposed to be at because I immigrated to the U.S. and like I didn't take the courses that you're supposed to take as a regular student in classes, whatever. So like the math I took in senior year of high school was pre-AP, pre-calculus, and I think the recommended was calculus AB or BC. Better. Obviously, the more the better.
Right.
And nobody told me nobody told me anything. So once I got into UTD, I took the Alex. I barely made like 70 points. I took analytic geometry. I don't know what kind of math was that. It was the first time that I never understood anything.
Right.
Like I was lost. I was like, these people are aliens. Like if you think I'm an alien right now, like these people, I was never in that position where I didn't understand anything in class. Like I was actually pretty good.
Right.
Um, but yeah, at the moment, like things just started like falling apart, and I was like, okay, I need to switch it up. Like this is not it. So at UTD, and I assume every other college, they have counseling, right? So they put you in counseling. Hey, what do you actually like about the career? And I was like, okay, well, I like software. I like creating. I like having hands-on. Yeah, just being able to create at my own will.
Mhm.
So okay, then maybe the School of Arts and Technology might be the best fit for you. So that's how I got in it. Like I went to the Professor Scott's 3D studio with the whole projection mapping, and it was a good mix between because I took engineering courses back in high school here in the U.S. So I
Mhm.
took like a bit of intro to mechanical and aerospace. So I was used to like using 3D software. But now in ATech, now in the arts and technology school, like I can use it creatively. So it was not only to like make blueprints for like I don't know houses or I don't know industry stuff. Like now I can make sculptures. Like I can make 3D models and make them animate and like do visuals for like you guys. The what was the association called?
Uh,
The African
ISO. I
Student
know you
Union.
did stuff for ISO. You did stuff for
Too.
ASU. Like you were all over the place.
I was,
ASS, yeah,
yeah, like, dude, you could tell that I found my place because I was all over the place. Like I
Right.
wanted to be
Right.
everywhere.
Dog,
So
you like slept in the ATEX studio. Like you are always in there.
Yo, that was his like lab. That was his secret lab. That's
Yes.
how I actually met Pablo. Like, I met Pablo because of this one ASU event. He took me back to the lab, and I was like, "Yo, what is this place?" He had like
Full
sculptures everywhere,
mad
drawings on the,
scientist.
crazy. It's so cool. It's so cool.
No, that's super dope, Pablo. I wanna like my burning question is, and Jason asked before we even like started recording, like how does that even work? How does that all come together? Is there like multiple software that you have to use to get the final end product? Like just kind of give us the 101, man. Give us the rundown.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I recently had to do a tutorial about this because people are asking all over the place, and it took me a while to like figure it out. And it wasn't until like last week that I got it done. So basically, you create a avatar inside of Unreal Engine's MetaHuman. So it's just like a bunch of like avatar creation software. So you create your avatar there, and then I bring it into Unreal Engine, which is doing this whole rendering stuff. So it's like real time rendering.
Wow.
And then the face capture, it's just an application called, let me see, it's called Faceware, and I'm only using my webcam. So you guys can use your webcam,
Wow.
and it detects your face. So when I blink, that's when it blinks. When I rotate my head, that's when it rotates. And I can actually, I'll take my face mask later on, and you can see also the mouth. So yeah, it's like 3 different softwares, and then I'm using OBS to create a virtual camera. So I am taking like a screen recording, like a live recording of the rendering. So
Gotcha.
OBS, Unreal Engine, the face capture is called Faceware, and then MetaHuman Creator.
Wow.
That's sick.
That's
dope.
awesome.
So who is this character, and like, what was the inspiration behind this avatar?
Yeah, you look like you belong in Saints Row, bro.
Yeah, this was this was just something that came up. I named him Jax. It's a Mayan name. It means blue and green, like a color. I don't know what it's called. It also means the first. And it was because of the skin. Like you can see his skin.
Mhm.
Like that's how it came out. I was like, like the Mayan and the Aztecs and the Mexica had this like precious stone. Like it was like a turquoise stone that was like the most precious thing. I mean, the gold wasn't even their thing, but yeah, like the story behind this guy is just like he's made out of that stone, and it's kind of like fading off. So I mean, he's trying to be a human, like, and this is just like one of many avatars that I plan to create. Because that's the point. Like it's just like a video game. Like you can be any
Right.
character you want. So
Yeah.
this is just the first one.
Bro, and you bring up a good point. So, like you said, this is like the first of many. So, can you kind of and that brings me into my like perfectly into the next question. So, like, can you tell us a little bit about like your projects that you've worked on in the past, kind of in the present right now that you're working on, and maybe could you give us like a little glimpse of the future of something that you either want to work on or something that you're really excited to start working on?
Oh man, okay. So
With the breath, he's like,
Where
"Oh,
do I start?
where do
Man.
I start? I think when we talked a bit, I was like, let me start after well, early last year I was working with you guys, right? With August Culture. So I was doing 3D motion graphic stuff for like advertising and like branding and like projection mapping for all of these like college um organizations and whatnot. But then after I got into crypto. I got into not specifically like trading coins, but like artistic projects for the crypto community. Um, I met my friend and my mentor. Her name is People Pleaser. Her name is Emily Yang. Through a Discord server, and then she got me into this huge project of this like cryptocurrency exchange called Uniswap, and that's when like the whole thing just like kickstart. Like it was, I didn't know what it was. She was just like, hey, I have this really cool idea, can you make it happen with like your knowledge in 3D, special VFX and whatever. We did the project, and then like the whole thing just sold for like a huge amount of money. It was like 310 Ethereum, and for like, yeah, like after that, it was just like, that was just the first one. Like we've been doing, I think like that was the fifth project. The next one we worked on was a documentary, not a documentary, but like we created an animation to raise money to create the first documentary for the Ethereum like blockchain.
Oh,
And
that's
that was like,
dope.
that was crazy too. That was
Yeah.
almost like 1,000 ETH or something like that.
Wow.
And man, it was
What?
just, it just got crazy after that. Like I just got, she got me into all this like NFTs, of course, the crypto community, the coins. Like she's been teaching me a lot, um, and that's what I've been doing now. I mean, I've been making my own NFTs. I haven't been selling them like her, because she got on like I think last year when it was DeFi summer, like when a lot of these crypto coins were created. So she got there like at the right time. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing myself, been selling here and there. Um, right now, I mean, I'm doing this. Like, I'm trying to learn how far I can push this avatar creation.
Yeah.
Um, digital fashion. Okay, so I'm wearing a shirt. You can kind of see the shirt, but like, I have now dwell into the digital fashion community, so I know people that they do fashion in real life, and they're trying to transition or use the same um, use these digital tools, right? Same way for the crypto community, the metaverses. So I meet a lot of people from digital fashion. Um, the mask I got it also from like a Mexican guy that creates like 3D stuff. So I've been getting a lot into the 3D community. Um, I haven't created much recently, but that's like, I don't know. Like the goal is to do a bit more. But for right now, I'm just exploring. Like I'm not releasing a bunch of stuff. Um, and then so that's past, present, and then future. Man, just keep doing it. Like this is just the webcam. Like I can buy a motion capture suit. I can buy the gloves. I can like there's like $50,000 setups that like they look sick, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so hopefully dwell onto that, or like at least find a way to do it. Like I know there's now like software that you don't even need those suits. Like it's AI that they train to, like, let's say it's a video of me moving around, and then it detects the skeleton, and it doesn't need a suit anymore. Like the camera just knows because the AI was trained to. It gets crazy, and then like super realistic models. But then yeah, we can get into a lot of things. But that's kind of like the gist of it.
Nah,
Wow.
Oh my
definitely.
god,
That's
dude.
wild.
That's
And
It's a
you
lot.
give me,
insane.
I love the hat. It's definitely giving me like Schoolboy Q vibes, like way back in the day, like his like, setbacks like project. Speaking of fashion, you got me super hyped about it because I love fashion, and you're in the digital fashion space. So, bro, like let's talk about that. So, first of all, digital fashion, kind of just I'll let you kind of just go off with it.
Yeah, so digital fashion. I got introduced by this organization called the Fabricant, which they are, I think, in somewhere in Europe, New Zealand, some of those countries over there. I don't know, but they're a digital fashion house. They create digital only garments. So like all the clothes that they create, you can only wear them digitally. So there's a lot of ways that you can wear these clothes. The first one, um, it's a Photoshop, right? Like you send them a photo, and they photo edit the garment on you, and they make it look realistic. So that's kind of like, let's call it like a cold wearing, because it's like you got to process it. And then there's like real time, like with filters, right? So you can have like a body filter, and it detects the body, and you can have the garment put on you in real time. It is not the prettiest because it's in real time. Right now, there's a lot of limitations with real time. It looks like crap. It looks like we're back in the 2000s, honestly. But it makes sense because there's like this thing is heavy. Like this character is heavy. Like that's why you need like a bunch of softwares to make it happen, and then make it happen in a Snapchat filter, or like a Instagram filter on your phone. It's a lot. So we're still early on that, but there's a lot of push to like make it as realistic as possible. um and then I mean, I've done a bit of like I've sold face filters as NFTs. I don't know if you guys saw, like, I have like some earrings that I sold on OpenSea through this company called Filta. Basically now, I mean, it's crazy because we're used to like just using filters, right, for free. But now thinking of like, hey, I can buy this. Like, why would I buy something like this? Well, it's considered digital fashion. It's considered a digital accessory. And then with NFTs, I mean, you just verify that this thing is real because it's in the blockchain, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, that's digital fashion is just getting started, and then so that's like kind of like with the physical in augmented reality world. Like, we've seen digital fashion in video games for a while. Like, characters have always have clothes. So if you play video games, this is not new. This is not new for you, especially if you play games recently. You pay for skins, you
Right.
pay for weapon skins, you pay for whatever cosmetic upgrades. Like, Fortnite is a big thing, right? So for gamers, this is not a new thing. Like, we've seen this before, but now that we have like actual people from like high fashion houses trying to get into this, they change the game because they're like, oh, well, this is gonna be the new thing. So we gotta get our feet wet on this. So it's still pretty new. There's a lot of things that are happening right now. I think that the whole reason that I got into this metahuman is because the filters on the body look so fake, that I was like, okay, then if I'm trying to bring the digital garment into the physical world, right now it's not possible. So let me use this metahuman to like wear my digital garments, wear my digital accessories with this digital avatar, and until that it's ready. So I just thought, hey, let me just go straight to the avatar and let my avatar do the whole thing instead of me trying to bring the stuff into the physical world. So the other thing that I see happening is our clothes are going to be basically like motion capture suits because there's not going to be any other way to like, I mean, at least you can train AI to recognize like people's bodies, but there's so many different types of bodies, and then you got to detect the body that is wearing a specific kind of jacket. So like, there's a lot of variables into this thing. So I'm still experimenting on it. Like, there's a lot of cool things happening, but that's digital fashion as far as I know.
Man, Pablo, for as long as I've known you, man, you've always been in the future. And I remember we used to have conversations back then. You mentioned digital fashion before,
Yep.
and where you potentially want to take it. Could you just share, like, again, what is the highest level you want to take, like, digital fashion, especially with like merchandise? Do you want to create like a whole digital fashion and clothing line? What exactly do you want to do at its highest level?
Well, with this whole thing of the Web3, decentralization, NFTs, I do think that everybody is going to have the opportunity to be their own brand, basically. Like, I honestly seen, what was it, Balenciaga? I don't know if you've seen it with Fortnite collaborating. And a lot of these like luxury brands, I think I think that they're gonna disappear because we're gonna see luxury as a different thing. Because now that we're in the digital, yeah, I mean, at least in my case, like, it looks cool, but like, what does it do? Like, what's the utility behind it?
Right.
So I don't know if it's an armor, like, it gives him more health and speed or whatnot, which can be controversial because it can become like a pay to win game. But I'm getting off topic. But yeah, I can I can see myself making um, clothes, but like, I'm not interested in mass production though. Like, if I create something, it will be custom made for somebody. Hey, like, I like what you do. Can you make me a jacket? And if I feel like it, then yeah, right. Like, I don't wanna be like a huge brand, and it's like, I don't know. There's some things about the uh, well, I call it the web. Well, yeah, we call it the Web 2 world. Like, I don't wanna bring it into the Web 3. Like, just mass production. I don't know. I just
So
don't feel it.
I think that brings about a good point. Like the whole, at least to me, the concept of Web3 is like decentralization, which means that things are not centralized, obviously. So you kind of wanting to be more of a small time creator that kind of does stuff exclusively, I feel fits right into the whole kind of theme of Web3, which I think is super interesting when you think about it. Because, right now we see Google, big, Twitter, whoever, right, as kind of the entities who essentially, I would say, run the internet, but with Web3 and with just new DeFi projects coming out all the time and everybody is kind of doing their own thing, it's really exciting. And on that note, I got another question for you that's more conceptual. Do you think that true decentralization is even possible? Because some would argue, if you have decentralized entities that participate in, let's say, governance, that a certain group could be vying for their own self-interest, right? And then you've got people who are creating these DeFi projects. So would those, in a sense, be like centralized bodies? And I know they're it's all depending on like how you build the technology, but I was just wondering if you've ever thought about like, is it even possible to be really decentralized,
Yeah, I've thought about it as well when I was introduced to this whole world of like, decentralization, no middleman,
Right.
we are in control. But like you said, you do still have those, there's no one central point, but there's a couple of points that control all of the different nodes. So there's still that, and I think Emily, a people pleaser, just said it recently. It's hyper capitalization. Like it's just not there yet, and I don't know. Like I'm still trying to figure it out because there's like this graph where it shows centralization, like a bunch of points connected into a central unit, and then decentralization, like groups of nodes being connected like with each other. And then there's another one that I forgot what it's called, but it's basically everything is connected with everything. Like there's no like clusters of groups, and that's like a more like meta topic. Like,
Right.
is that when we become one? Like we literally become one thing. Like we move as a unit.
Oh
And
man, sci-fi.
yeah, yeah.
So Hafid, sorry, not Pablo, my bad.
Put some respect on his name.
It's not personal. So we talk about decentralization. For those who might not understand or grasp that kind of concept of decentralization, why is that good for creators? Why like as a musician, like, or as a creator like you, why do we want decentralization when it comes to Web 3.0?
I think you want decentralization as a creator because you're not gonna rely on these big companies. Like that is the biggest thing. Like you don't wanna, as a musician, you don't wanna rely on like Spotify to launch your career on SoundCloud. As a 3D artist, like you don't want to rely on getting a job at a studio, which could be fine, right? Like, you can work on movies and whatever, but you can be a freelancer. Like it gives you independence as a creative. And because this whole decentralization is like a community thing, the only thing you need is your community, and you don't need all of these platforms can be tools, but they're not something that you need to have, and you're not gonna have these hierarchies either. Like you need to, because there can be some sketchy stuff in the successful artistic creative world, and I think this is just gonna minimize it a bit. I mean, we're humans, we're still gonna have some type of hierarchy, but I think this is gonna benefit you obviously more than the Web 2.
Got you. And then just to follow up real quick, you mentioned, I feel like a main theme in this conversation is community, right? It's community. So for the creatives that are, they're out doing their own little things, whether it's photography, whether it's, graphic design, whether it's 3D stuff, like how can they get tapped into their communities? Like because to me, I'll like hop on, I'll grab my phone, hop on MetaMask, go to the browser, and I'm just like, I don't even know. There's so many projects on like you can see. There's so many everything and people are like, oh well, you just need a community to get started. Well, how do you build a community? How do you even find your community if it's already out there? It already exists. Like help me out, Pablo. I mean, Hafid, help me out, bro.
Yeah, all good. I mean, the easiest way is just like with the people that you know, right? Like you probably already know somebody that knows somebody, or like your friends, so you have similarities, so you can create a community that way. If it's more niche and then like something that you find on the internet, which is, I mean, very common nowadays, a lot of these projects, they have group chats. And group chats are not a new thing. Like social media has been having group chats for all the time, like even text message, you have a group chat. But now with, for example, the way I got into this, it was Discord, right? So pretty much everybody's making a Discord. I mean, we're in August Culture's Discord right now. So it's just, it is a matter of engaging with people. So not only you're gonna hear this in the Discord community, like you're in 100,000 servers, but like how many of them you're actually active, right? So, and by active means like, you know, being on open calls like this one. Like there's a lot of Discords have like a cafe voice chat, and you can just hang out, you know, and like share your screen. Hey, I'm working on this. You know, just listening to people. Yeah, and then like that same group might be on Twitter, right? Like that same group might be on Clubhouse, on Telegram. So that's how you start getting to know people. And I mean, you're just naturally going to, first of all, people are going to see that your motives, like what your motives are, right? Like if you're just there to like shill or like advertise, that's the word for advertising, like shilling. Or if you're like legitimately trying to find a community, and I mean they're also going to see it because they're like, oh, well, let's work on a project together, right? And then you work with these people, you have meetings with these people, you see them face to face, you work together, and that's how you start building community slowly. And I mean, yeah, I think that's the way. The way.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Is that a
I wanna
Mandalorian
backtrack.
reference? Is that from Mandalorian?
No, that's from
The
that
way.
guy, the Knuckles, the meme, like, do you know the way?
Oh, from Sonic the Hedgehog?
Ugandan Knuckles.
Yeah.
Out the way.
I thought you were talking about Mandalorian. Never mind.
That's funny. Yo, I want to backtrack a little bit, man. Jason Bickerman and I, we had a whole conversation, episode 2 of Shift the Culture, about Metaverse and everything it entails. Obviously, you're getting more into it if you're not already like deep into it, you know, compared to other people. Is there any fears about, you know, what's coming ahead? Are you know, everything is online now, you know, and for a lot of people, it's still a mystery of what exactly, you know, is the internet. You feel me? Some people are still in the past, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is the internet? And now we're talking about things like Metaverse. We're talking about things like Decentraland, buying, you know, real estate online and things like that. You know, people are still afraid of getting their emails hacked. Is there like any fears of the future, you know, what it brings? And do you personally have any concerns?
Concerns of companies from this Web 2 world trying to do the same thing in the decentral world, which I mean it's going to happen. Like, I mean, they're gonna try to, like, I don't know, find a way to commercialize as much as they can and like get you to buying stuff. But I think it's only gonna work to a certain extent. Like, I feel like education and like they call it media literacy. It's a big thing here, and I think technology literacy is a big thing as well. Like, we need to educate ourselves, like understand our digital, well, our devices, right? Like, not let these devices control us, but like us use them as a tool. Like understanding what actual social media is about, like the way they like track your data, like they are tracking you, they are trying to sell you stuff. So it's just like, as long as we are educated on these technologies, I feel like we will be fine. But then again, you guys watch Ready Player One, right? Like, have you heard Ready Player One? I read Ready Player Two, and it's a bit of a spoiler, but not really. But they get to a point where like how advanced humanity can actually get, how digitized humanity can actually get. Like, is there a point where, like, you know, the typical machines are gonna take over? Like, at least, well, personally, I'm not I'm not afraid of that. Like, the concept of it is just like, I'm on some spiritual stuff, so I don't even believe in like that kind of that. But if it's time for humans to either evolve with machines, like form a symbiotic relationship with machines, or go, then it's your time to go. You know, like, okay, human race, we're done. But like, you either get to like be one with the machine, because I feel like the machine is also lacking things that we have. So I feel like there's an opportunity for us to form a relationship. And I mean, yeah, we can talk about like conspiracies and a bunch of stuff, but that's what I believe for now.
So have you heard about the whole thing where Elon Musk is trying to put brain chips into people's heads and all that jazz? Like,
I'm all for it, baby.
Yeah,
that honestly, that terrifies me. Are you kidding? Like, you're telling me, look, like, you know how many times, like, my Spotify password was leaked, like, not even that long ago. Imagine if the password to my brain is leaked and I'm in here tweaking because somebody done hacked into my brain. Like, I feel like there's a limit, honestly. Like, I think no matter how digital we get, I think we always have to come back to the physical space because that's where we exist. And I think you hit it on the head when you said technology should serve or could serve as a tool. And I think that, I don't know if you've heard of the whole movement for like humane technology, where I believe, I haven't looked into it a lot myself, but I think it's pushing a lot of the things that you just said, like digital literacy or whatever you said. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but understanding media literacy, understanding like how your technology is working and how these apps and stuff are built to like capture your attention, because it's all very intentional what they're doing. So it terrifies the hell out of me, if I'm being honest with you, because I feel like we don't even have a grasp over it now. Like the current state of technology, like we're still like, technology is still new, right? Like it hasn't been around. Social media, phone, that stuff hasn't been around for too long. So I feel like we don't even know the long-term effects that has like on us as human beings and people. So, hey, man.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like our brains are literally limited. Like this technology is so advanced that we're limited.
Yeah.
Like think of it as bandwidth, right? Like our brains we can only learn so fast. We can only do so much.
Right.
That's why I think like symbiosis with like these like advanced technologies is our way to like, if you want to keep going, I mean, maybe our future generations or like later on,
Right.
like we're going to have to do some sort of relationship. If not, then
That's true.
you're going to be at a disadvantage because everybody's going to they're going to be cyborgs, right?
Right.
Like learning, like anybody can learn anything at any time because it's always available in their head, right? Like there's not going to be a point. And then it's a whole societal change, but yeah.
And it's crazy that you brought it up like that, because then it becomes like a competition and you almost have to kind of adopt that sort of relationship with technology just to stay relevant, it seems, which is insane. And I can't remember if it was us talking, but the whole concept of uploading memories to the cloud, so you essentially have like infinite like storage in your head, like that, it's giving me a headache just thinking about it. And it makes me want to stay in the house.
You gotta upgrade your RAM.
I mean, it reminds me of Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Hopefully, it isn't as a colossal disaster as that game was, because then we're all kind of screwed.
No, thanks. I don't want to get too deep into like conspiracy theories and things like that, but I have one question. I know there's a lot of people, just like you said, we have concerns of companies and big conglomerates, commercializing, things like the Decentraland, the Metaverse, and everything along those lines. I know there's people out there that's afraid that the government can somehow use current technology and what technology is going to be, utilize that to control people. Do you have any fears like that? Do you think that's realistic? Me personally, I don't think that's realistic because I feel like the government is full of people who barely understand the internet as it is. They're old.
But they got money though.
They got money.
They move slow though. They move slow.
I think. Well, Cam, let me ask you. How do you know it's not already happening? Like with the current technologies, how do you know that we're?
Dude, how you gonna drop that?
Say the safe word. Bananas. All right, we're chilling. We're still in the.
No, but it's an honest question. Like how do you think like they're not doing something already, like with social media, like with food, with music? Dude, music is so powerful, like to a core level of the humans. We're pure energy, right? Like how do you know that music is not already doing something? That the commercials that they get thrown at us, the ads everywhere, like I mean,
like you, man, like I'm very spiritual as well, so I do feel like there is a level of influence and control that music and the media in general can have a hold over, humans in general. You feel me? And maybe the government is tied into that. You feel me? But I also feel like it is possible for people not to be, held under that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like for people who are aware,
Right.
it won't have too much of a big impact or effect on them. What do you think?
Same. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
That's
you,
what I was
you
saying.
kind of
Like,
touched
yeah.
on that. Yeah, like where you're like, it's all about being educated on how our
Yeah.
technology works. Because then like, okay, you literally, I said bananas and now I got 1,800 ads for bananas on my IG feed. That's intentional. Like y'all are doing that. So
Yep.
Yo, so I think, I just want to kind of like bring this round full circle. Hafid, I think like bringing it back to the people side of things. We talked about how there's this convergence of people with like machine or like robots and stuff. Do you think that there will ever become a point or like an inflection point in our history as humans where we will no longer be creative beings because we'll just see the world as zeros and ones and zeros, dot dashes, dot dashes. Like that's the one thing that scares me is like I love technology. I love how it brings the best out of us and then we can use AR, VR to really like just in everything. We're having this conversation right now. I'm talking to an avatar. I've never done this before. It's hard. Yes. But you ever think like we'll get to a point where the creativity just like hits a block and then from then on it's just math, it's just like zeros, ones, zeros or whatever, and then there's no real innovation after that.
I think actually quite the opposite. I feel like creativity is gonna be the only thing that's going to survive. Like, as far as like
Okay,
jobs and things to do, yeah. Like as thing as like things to do later on, like so many stuff is gonna get automated. Like machines are gonna do a lot of the work, and that's why I kind of look up to this area because there's gonna give us time to to enjoy it. They're like, what is that? To actually enjoy life and like not have to work, not to live to work, but like actually live. Like
right.
we can enjoy being creative, and I feel like that's gonna be like the only thing that's gonna be a thing.
You're telling me it's kind of like so like that graphic of like the evolution of man. It's like the apes or whatever, and then like he stands back up, and then like there's this slowly evolution of like he comes back down. I kind of like that that visual, but like for creativity, like you said, it's the only thing we're gonna have. It seems like at the very beginning of man, we like lightning struck a tree and then all of a sudden like we had fire and then some creative Neanderthal out there decided to put something in the fire, wait 5 minutes or whatever. Some Neanderthal in caves 20,000 years ago decided to paint, and then that is kind of how we formed our humanity around like the creativity and the art. And so I love that you said that because honestly I was like I think I know the answer to this. Like, oh yeah, it's no one's gonna be creative anymore, it's gonna be robots. And then you completely changed my perspective on that. And I just want to say thanks, bro. So,
No.
all the creatives out there, we're the only ones that are gonna have a job left. So that's the only thing I can get from that. You love accounting. I'm sorry for you, bro.
Or software engineering like myself, I guess I need to pick up Blender and a pencil and learn how to actually.
No, yeah, I really
Man.
do love that. And we talked about how companies are like they might be how they might penetrate the 3.0 space, but what about the utilization of like social media? Will social media evolve, or will social media become like does the metaverse become the social media, and then how do creatives utilize that? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like as in the metaverse I'd have to be like online in a sense when I'm seeing like all the sandbox games, like people are act like they're characters, but like I don't want to be online 24/7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what if I have a 9 to 5 or whatever? Like, and then how are you going to be advertising either your services, your products, and everything like that? So, first question: where do you see social media fitting into the metaverse? Second follow up: how do you see creatives utilizing social media in that space?
I think that social media, websites, all of the stuff that we use currently is gonna be inside of. There's gonna be a lot of metaverses, right? It's like the metaverse is just like a combination of a bunch of all of these universes. So instead of websites and apps, it's all gonna be inside of a world. Like all of these things are gonna be just digital worlds that you can hop in. Let's go to the music world. Let's go to Jason's world. Like he has I don't know, this plugin that lets us do this app, this cool hologram. Um, I mean, it's for creatives to utilize that. You you're gonna have to be there quite some time, or at least understand, educate yourself. I mean, you can be there as long as you want. Um, you know, because there's also this push like I don't think everything is going to be virtual reality. Like it's going to be augmented reality. So we're building on top of the world. So you're still going to have um, physical stores, physical interactions. We're just going to bring the digital into the physical. I feel like that's what's most wanted from this metaverse world. Not like put some goggles on and like or connect your brain into the metaverse and you know just go and live in the virtual world, which can be an option. I feel like we're gonna have options. Like you're gonna have the option. There's gonna be a lot of people that they want to be, upload my consciousness to the internet, and I'll just be everywhere on the internet, right? But then I can log back out and like go to the park or something. Like it's again, it's crazy. Another spoiler from Ready Player 2. I mean, there's also like concepts of this. Like, okay, think that you can connect to the internet, but connect with your brain. And we are in this digital space, and I can feel everything, like real life feelings. I can feel the touch. I can taste stuff. I can feel pain, right? Like all this kind of stuff, and I can. Jason's like, no, I'm gonna get stuck in there.
Nah, bro. No. I'm good. What if you get hacked and somebody they run an infinite loop to just slap you in the face over and over and over again? Then all you'll know is pain for the rest of your life because you got hacked messing around on the internet. Oh, my dog is acting up over here. I'm sorry.
He's like, yep.
But nah, like no way.
I mean, this is just time. Like time is gonna continue. We're gonna continue evolving. Like we're gonna get into these things eventually. I mean, you can get to opt out. I mean, I don't think you're gonna miss out some stuff, but like we're still physical. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we're still humans. Like there might get to a point where like we have to form these kind of, I don't know, like we have to upload our consciousness. Like just think of apocalypse, right? Like a world is about to get destroyed. Let's put all of our consciousness into a ship. Like we find a new habitable planet. Like now we're starting to get into these things to be actually possible. So yeah.
not to detract from the second part of this question, but you mentioned something I thought was really interesting, and that's like I wouldn't call it a competition, but looking at VR versus AR. And I feel like VR is something that is real like novelty, right? But then when you look at AR, because like you said, you're overlaying over the real world and it acts more like a tool instead of something that you can get kind of lost in. And like when you think about like AR glasses, I really think we're really constrained by the hardware at this point in time, because you can have an Oculus Rift, but if you've ever used an Oculus Rift for an extended period of time and you wear glasses like me, then you know it's complete sweat and fog and it's the absolute worst. So and the limitation with AR is that you have to use your phone in a lot of cases because you've got to kind of tap into this digital world overlaid over the physical one. So I don't know if you've heard of like AR glasses by Apple and kind of the stuff that they're doing with AR Kit and their potential rumored like spectacles. I know Amazon has come up with AR wearables like glasses and stuff. So I know there is a second part to that question, but at some point in this conversation, I want to get your take on AR glasses, but I'll be quiet and let you finish Juice's second part of his question.
I forgot what the second part was, but I feel like, I mean, AR glasses.
Roll into that question. Roll into that one. That was good.
Oh yeah.
Well, AR glasses are gonna be used at the beginning, like contact lenses. Like, why not just get a prosthetic eye that can see the digital world? And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, might as well just get the brain, right? Like we're gonna start doing all this kind of stuff eventually, but it's still far. But then I don't know. Like I think Sony patented the. I think I was still at UTD when I saw the Sony patented the these contact lenses that they record video and take photos.
Wow.
But now that we see AR, like it's gonna happen eventually, right?
Right.
Like it's gonna happen.
That's crazy.
Wow. No,
Hafid,
you ain't lying, bro.
we've been doing
Oh,
all.
go.
Oh, my bad, Cam.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hafid, we've been doing all this tough talk about metaverse this, metaverse that, VR this, AR that, real world this, real world that. How do regular folks even interact with the metaverse? Not saying that they have to be creators like yourself, but like how do people just find ways to engage with the metaverse? Because to your point, what you had said before, there's a lot of different metaverses, and they all kind of like connect for like the one like metaverse. So like for those that are just learning about this stuff, they're not really looking to contribute, but they are looking to, digest the content and just kind of maybe find their communities and on the metaverse. What's like the easiest way, the least scary way that someone can get involved with the metaverse?
That doesn't involve getting a blurring implant in your head.
It doesn't have all the rating plan.
Yeah,
Oh man. Okay. Well, like I said, well, as of right now, the metaverse is still like a gray area. Like not it's. I think there can be video games like they're mostly gonna look like video games. So if you play video games, that's like an easy metaverse. Like you play online, you interact with these communities, you buy skins, like there's digital currencies. You interact with all these people in an online matter. Um, yeah, like the transition is still happening, so it's kind of like I don't know what not is the metaverse anymore because just being online, like Discord, can be a metaverse, right? Like we're connected online. Um, some might argue that no, but it needs to have cryptocurrencies, it needs to have NFTs, it needs to have avatars. But I mean, well, I'm guessing that we are all real right now. We're looking at each other through like a webcam, and this might be a simulation. We don't know. But this is still like I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, try to learn about crypto. Like first of all, try to learn what is Web3. What is the metaverse? Like start defining these terms and like find it by yourself. Like look up what this means. You're gonna find some very technical stuff of like the blockchain and it's this and that, which I think you should understand. Like what the Web3 is, like what decentralization is. I feel like you should start with that. Like, and then you start to find communities, and then those communities tell you about certain platforms, and then you're like, well, like once you know it, you're already part of a DAO, right? Like you're already doing some crypto project. So the first thing I think you should do is like educate yourself, like define these terms, and yeah, and just keep doing research because we're still defining a lot of stuff still, but it's important for you to get on, yeah, on the basics first. So like, yeah, that's gonna be like the most viable way, I think.
So,
Yeah.
Pablo, how do you specifically stay educated on all of this?
Communities.
The
Yeah, I just
community.
follow people on Twitter, like Discord groups. Like if I have to look up stuff on my own, like some of the technical stuff, like how does a blockchain actually work? How it's specific. Like when I was trying to find about NFTs, okay, what is an NFT? Okay, it's an Ethereum request for comment. Like, what do you mean by comment? Okay, well, a bunch of developers that they're building the blockchain, like it's open, yeah, it's open source, but like they have to request like this specific feature to be implemented into the whole blockchain. Like it's just a bunch of uh yeah, you have to do it by yourself, but there's also like communities that will be there for you, like um a lot of like now involving like Latino groups, like they're trying to have newcomers understand, so they'll have like a PDF of like the basics. This is an NFT, this is blockchain, let's talk about vocabulary and this stuff. And they encourage you to do your own research and this and that. um yeah, it's just about doing it and researching.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I will say I ventured into this territory a bit myself, and I think you hit it right on the head. Like, there's just so much information out there. It really is up to you to figure out what exactly do you want to like venture into, because you've got main chains like Ethereum and blockchain and stuff. And you've got side chains like Polygon, and I think Algorand is one. And like the only way I know about this stuff is just like you said. One of my homies told me about it, and I looked into it myself. And being on the technology side of it, I found that when I actually so there's a tutorial called Crypto Zombies, and it teaches you Solidity, which is the programming language used to create smart contracts. And once I learned, like, okay, what is blockchain doing, and then how does Ethereum play into that, and how does it leverage it, like you begin to really understand like what all these different side projects do, because you've done that research. So I definitely agree, like it's all community driven, which is why it's like kind of exciting. It's really exciting because it's all of us kind of pushing this forward, so
First of all, it doesn't work if it's not all of us. Like,
Right,
that's the whole
right,
thing about it. Like,
right.
Centralization works because it's a central unit working, doing all the work. But like decentralization, there's a bunch of people that have to be working on it in order for it to work. It's not gonna work if we're not all in it.
Right.
And then another thing to answer the question is, I feel like some good things about like these mainstream like companies and like just big conglomerates coming into the space is that they're gonna make it a mass adaptation. So like they're gonna try to bring a lot of people into it, which is gonna be fine in that way because they're gonna teach them what this is. It might be for like the company's benefit or whatever, but like at least it's going to introduce a lot more people that wouldn't be open to this. Because I feel like I seen charts all the time of like people that right now are in the space is not a lot. Like you can hear it, but it's still not a lot of people that have their wallets, that they buy crypto, that they understand what Web3 even is, So I feel like that is one thing that's gonna educate a lot of people and bring a lot of new people into the space, like just mass adaptation by. I mean, now like Spider-Man movie, right? Like if you AMC is doing this partnership, right? Like the Matrix, like you buy into these movies and now you buy a movie ticket, or you get an NFT, and then you start wondering what is an NFT, right? And then Apple doing like all of this stuff is just gonna happen.
That's crazy, man. I think the tech, like, and kind of speaking from the technology lens and the research that I've done, I think the key is really making it efficient, because right now it's not very efficient at all. And looking at something like Ethereum and just how much you pay for gas fees just to carry out transactions on the node, or in the network, it's kind of crazy. So I know what they have, Ethereum 2.0. It's apparently supposed to make gas fees go down, and I think people are like, I think it's amazing at the number of new ways to leverage this technology. They just pump out, like, it seems daily. So there's wallets now where you can connect through QR code, and there's a desktop app for it, and it kind of syncs with your phone, and it makes transferring to wallets like 10 times easier. And like you said, like it's going to get more and more accessible, and it's going to be in the public more and more, to where eventually it's going to be widely adopted. And it's pretty freaking sweet, if you ask me. That part, I don't know about the brain chips and all the upload your consciousness to the internet stuff, but the whole, like the facility, like the transfer of wealth between two unknown parties verified on the blockchain, I think is insane. And then, like, not to like go on a tangent, but like I was looking at NFTs the wrong way. I'll say, like, I was looking at it as, oh, it's all hype because people are buying JPEGs, but NFT is a technology in and of itself that's just being used a lot for art. And someone reached out to me on Instagram. I went live, and they told me, like, hey, like, think about it this way. And like, when I thought about it that way, as just like a way to verify pretty much anything over the internet, like, it just opens up the possibilities for things like automation, because like you can make certain things happen because you verified that transactions have taken place between two parties. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, NFTs, it's the Ethereum request for comment, ERC 721.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is 721. Like, there's gonna be a lot more,
right.
and a lot more different blockchains, right? So like,
right.
this is just one little thing, right? Like,
Right.
oh man, there's so much.
Yeah. Hopefully we are on the right side of history, on the bleeding edge of technology, venturing into the black void of the unknown.
I'm not that optimistic.
So, sometimes it makes you want to think like, how like there's been certain points in history where you're just like, bro, I can't believe people didn't get in. Like,
Right, yeah.
like when they were paying people to go to like the West world to like the Americas or whatever, or like
Right.
when the gold rush happened and they're just like, yo, go over there, or like they're just giving out mad land. And now it just seems like it's kind of like all over again, but now it's our turn. And so like Jason, you talked about fears. My only fear is the fear of missing out. I don't want to miss out on
FOMO
And
hard.
I'm trying to learn everything. I'm trying to do absolutely everything. So that way, like just to diversify myself. And like you had said, Hafid, like, the literacy part is I feel like it's super important because so many times, like how many times have we heard the phrase, oh, I found this thing on TikTok, or I learned about this thing on TikTok. But that's just a 30-second clip, bro. Like you need to actually like take that 30-second clip, screenshot the URL, whatever, then do your own Googles or whatever, your Yahoos or whatever you use. I don't know, your DuckDuckGos, to then build the foundation on that and to build your own information, to build your knowledge base on that. So I just like I think it's coming full circle. It's just
Right.
like, there's so much, but we're in the very beginning. It's like the antithesis of like whatever is going to be happening, and I'm really excited for Web 3.0. But with that being said, I want to know, Hafid, like where do you see what do you want to be in the metaverse? And like what I mean by that is we talked about contributors and we talked about consumers. Do you want to be kind of like a mix of both? Do you just want to be straight creator? Is there a point to where like you've created all these things, now you just kind of want to chill and enjoy the metaverse? Like where do you see yourself in this space, kind of like in the future?
Oh man. Still doing everything. Still like trying new things.
I love it.
Yeah, just about everything. Like just try whatever I can. Let me see. Even though I fantasize over the digital world, and even when I was in college, I was like, I got to a point, I think my last 2 years, I didn't want to use any notebooks, any pencils, everything on my computer, everything on my tablet. Actually, being in the digital world a lot like makes me appreciate the physical even more. Um, because we're not there yet. Because we're not at the point where we can attach our brains and like simulate like reality and whatnot. As of now, yes, it just makes me appreciate like the physical a bit more because there's just not that possibility yet in the world. Which, yeah, that's it.
I feel you. Well, I appreciate you, Feed.
Man, Pablo, let's talk about your trip to Mexico, man. Yeah.
What about it?
This past summer, I know you and I and Juice was talking last time. You did a lot back then. You was volunteering and just talk about that trip and just a little bit about your roots, man. Deviating away from this whole Web3.
We went on a tangent, didn't we?
No, for real. People gonna be watching this, and so much of what we talked about is gonna go.
They're just gonna be like, "What are they talking about? Brain chips, internet? What the heck?"
No,
Yeah,
it is Monday. It is too early in the
week. Okay. Life in Mexico. Yeah, I went. So I was raised in Mexico City, which I didn't know it was called. Like it's the slums. Like I didn't know it was the slums. Like I was raised in this area, which, yeah, it was the slums. And then I went back this year. Just what was the question? I'm confused.
How was your trip this summer back home?
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
I went. Wait, error. Wait, my chips are getting overloaded.
You got to pay for some more storage. You need to upgrade to the next storage plan. They're gonna turn your stuff off.
Yo, for real, like my memory is just packed. Like I need to upgrade. You're right.
Yo,
it was good, man.
Wallet didn't go through. All right, I'll stop.
No, it's all good.
What exactly did you do out there?
I was just visiting family. Yeah,
Okay.
like I went back twice this year. The first time to go to like a crypto meeting there in Mexico, which I was really interested in meeting a lot of people that were into the NFT space. Um, there was this gallery, they wanted to sell some of my work, so I got some of my work for sale, and this like this gallery, and then I met a lot of like crypto people. So that was like the first time, and it was cool because it's a lot of these people from the internet that I got to meet in like Discords and Telegrams and groups, and then we met in real life. So that's what I'm saying. Like it was pretty nice to have real life after all the digital. And then the second time, it was just a family visit. Like, it was also like a lot of like thinking of just like thinking of my roots. I mean, you guys saw the video of me like, I had this need to like wake up early in the morning, like 6 a.m., and then just sweep the streets, like outside of my house. So yeah, I was just like, it was like a meditation moment, like because yeah, like this whole year has been crazy with crypto and all of these things that I've been telling you guys, and it was just like a moment to like ground myself, sweeping the floor, and yeah. Plus, it's very dirty over there, so I just wanted to like help out. Also, I mean, I think I got it from my grandma. Like my grandma used to sweep the house outside every day. So when I'm there, like I try to. I mean, she's in a different realm anymore. She's in a different realm now. Is how you say it? Yes. So the spirit's still there, and then, like it possesses me, and it tells me to go outside and sweep the streets because they're dirty.
What was the biggest takeaway when you just had that feeling, you went out and then you did that service? What was the biggest takeaway for you?
Wait, what do you mean by service? You mentioned volunteering. I didn't do volunteering. Wait.
No, I confused you sweeping the streets with the volunteering, but it just came from you like altogether. But what you did was an act of service, you feel me? Like you were sweeping the streets. Maybe it wasn't for like anybody specifically, but you were serving yourself, you were serving your needs. Like, what was the biggest takeaway for you, and what did you feel in that moment?
Well, I was just grateful for everything that I have right now, everything that I have experienced. Like I tell you, it was just a grounding moment. It was also meditation. It was a break, because it was early in the day. There was not. It gets pretty busy over there. It's kind of like there's a lot of people. I get congested from a lot of people, so I like those moments of peace.
Dude, same.
In this crypto world, things move so fast. So like you miss a week and you miss so much. So yeah, it was just simply a grounding moment.
Okay. So Hafid, this will probably be I don't know how long we got. But
I think we're approaching time.
One thing I do love about August culture is the fact that we do love and highlight and uplift so many diverse voices. And I love asking this to basically everyone I get to meet, but how has your roots, your heritage, your background, your history kind of found its way into your creative endeavors? Like I think, I could go on. I believe it was like you got Hafid particles, you got Hafid FX, but I do remember that you had like some tarot cards. Um, do you want to just talk about that real quick? And because I know, yeah.
Yeah. So those are the Lotteria cards. Like that's a famous Mexican game that you play with the family. It's just like bingo if you don't know about it. And it was actually my first project that I actually put like some of my culture into my 3D work. Like I started just doing a bunch of abstract stuff, and like just random VFX, which look cool and like they helped me learn. But like there was this just need for me to like put my spice into it, put my culture into it. Like 'cause I first of all I didn't see a lot of content that was like 3D and related to my culture, so I wanted to create that content. Like the same way that I got inspired to make all this stuff, like I'm hoping that it inspires somebody to do the same thing. Um, so yeah, that was just like it just naturally came into me of like I I'm missing something here in this space that is just part of me, and I just want to create it because it's just what creatives do, right? Like we just we just bring stuff that it's part of us, and we just want to share it We just want to share it. Hopefully, inspires others. Like I said, like we get inspired from others all the time. So we just gotta keep the chain going.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I'm a big proponent of like if you see it, you can be it. You just got to believe it. And I love the fact that like you're really taking your culture, your heritage, your background, and then infusing that with the 3D digital space, keeping it alive, pushing it into newer and newer territories. I just think that in and of itself is super creative. And so I just want to say, bro, hats off. Continue to find ways to interject your DNA into that sounds really weird. No, actually, forget it. Yeah, continue to interject your DNA, who you are, into all the creative things that you do, whether even if it's collabs and all that stuff. Because I know there was this one thing on Twitter, and this is kind of the reason I brought it up, but it was the first time I had ever seen it was like a medical illustration of like a black mother and like a black baby, and like it
Yeah.
was like a see through like whatever, and that was like the first time like I was like, oh my God, like it never occurred to me that I've never seen like a diagram of like a mother and like her like unborn baby yet in the womb, and so I've just been seeing white ass, pale ass babies my entire life. But it was just that moment, or like even when the band-aids, like when I first saw like my first nude or skin tone like band-aid, it was like, bro, I've never seen this before. But I had never thought to think about it, but now that I see it and it's in front of my face, it just hits so much harder. And so I'm just saying that for all the people that aren't on this call right now, please continue to do you. Please continue to just find new and inventive ways to bring up and highlight and amplify your culture. So thank you, bro.
No, thank you guys. I mean, just having this space, talking about these things, that's all we got to do, right? Like sharing. That was actually the first. I recently just saw that as well. Like the illustration of the how like medical. This like doctor, right? That he's doing a bunch of illustrations of like
Yeah.
um medical like diagrams and stuff like that with black people, and then like I saw like accurate representations of like the Virgin Mary. Like she looks like nothing like we see at least in Mexico. Like she looks Indian, like super Indian, because that's how she was. That's what she was supposed to look like. So a lot of this stuff, it's so important to bring out a culture. Um, Also, what I'm excited about, decentralization. Like people's voice matters now more than ever. So this is just the beginning, man. We're gonna see. I'm looking forward to like this multicultural metaverse. That should be the goal.
Heck yeah, bro. Hey, Cam, I feel like you're about to interject, but last words, Hafid, you got any last words for the audience? People that big fans of you, people that don't even know who you are, but they stuck around to the very end of the video. Like, do you have any words of wisdom, tips and tricks? Any last nuggets you want to drop on the audience?
Before you answer that, take off your mask too, so we can see the character.
Oh, why are you putting him on the spot? It's Monday night. This man is at home in sweatpants.
One second.
Hairpin, sweat time, chilling with no makeup on.
Yeah.
I'm taking the mask off, but like not the avatar. You know. Yeah. Let me do a little bit of magic. So this is kind of like how this thing works.
We gonna see the magic.
This is a behind the scenes
Real time.
look.
It's a behind the scenes.
So when you get the full bodysuit, or like when you get the AI, you'd be able to have the full like
Yeah.
body right there.
Yeah. That's the goal. Because right now it's only, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, right now it's only just. It looks kind of weird. It's not super accurate, you know.
That's pretty
But
cool.
this is just reading the
Really
webcam.
good though.
This is just reading the webcam, dude. And imagine, yeah, this is crazy. Yeah.
So okay, sorry, I got caught up. But last parting words, tips and tricks, nuggets that you want to drop on the audience before we get out of here. It's all you.
Wait, this is crazy. I haven't seen it in like without the mask.
I love
He's
it.
amazed too.
I'm still tripping.
He's like, bro, I am good. Look at.
Look at this, man. Yeah. I think I'm just coming back to what I said of like educate yourself, like media literacy. Understand what your devices are meant to do. Use them So not let them use you. All these apps. Do your own research. You know, the classic stuff. If you're gonna go into the metaverse, start with the basics. What is Web 3.0? What is the blockchain? Educate yourself. And then just be part of communities. I mean, people, if you go with good intentions, like people are just gonna see your intentions and they're gonna bring you into the communities. You're gonna be part of. Do a lot of collabs if you can. Just diversify your skills, like stay learning. I mean, new software, new I don't know, apps, new. Just keep learning every day. Honestly, just like constant learning. That's what's gonna give you a good spot in the space.
Appreciate you, Hafid.
Thank you, man. Wise words. Yo, Pablo, have y'all seen the Kanye West Justice? I know you saw it. The Kanye West interview with Drinking Champs, and he said something in the episode. He said he feels like a nomad because he wants to go anywhere and be accepted by so many cultures and everything. That's what Pablo like really reminds me of. Excuse me, Hafid reminds me of. Just a nomad, especially in the creative space. And on behalf of everyone, the AC family, just thank you for everything you've done. You created all our transitions, made our logo come to life, all that. What I'm saying, we have so much love for you, Pablo, and we're gonna follow you into the future. Maybe not Jason, but me and Jason.
I am a cautious optimist, so I'll be there, but I'll be like last in line, straddling the future and what we got now.
No, man, I appreciate you guys. I mean, just giving me the opportunity, accepting me into your community as well. I mean, yeah, I agree with what you said. Like, I was just looking into communities back then at UTD, so I'm glad that you guys accepted me like multiple times. I would hang out with a bunch of different people, and I just love that they accepted me. We got to do things together. So this is just the beginning, dude. Like. I'm 25. I don't know how old you guys are, but we got time to do a bunch of stuff. Like, this is just the beginning. I mean, we stopped talking in February. Like, it hasn't even been a year.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't even been a year.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to come. So let me just get into just swim in this metaverse a little bit more, and then we can get back.
For sure. Well, man, thank you again. Well, yeah, let's end it right there, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Pablo. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Well, have a good night.
Well, actually, real quick, you want to shout out your Instagram, any socials that you have to the fans and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, my main Instagram right now is Hafid.mx. Twitter is Hafid3D. I'll send it to you if you are gonna edit the video. I don't know if you're gonna edit the video. Yeah. Oh, and then quick advertising. There's this new app that's gonna come out called Bubble House, which is meant to be like the social media of the Instagram with NFTs. They contacted me to be like one of the beta testers, so like one of like the first artists they're gonna release. So check me out on that once it comes out. I think that's also gonna bring a lot of mass adoption, because it's supposed to make it super accessible to anybody to just go ahead and make NFTs, sell NFTs. So just stay tuned for that. On YouTube, like I just released a tutorial on how you can. It's gonna be a series, but like how you can make something like this, like my avatar. I just released how you can bring it into Unreal Engine, but eventually I want to show you how you can just do this yourself. So yeah, stay tuned on YouTube for free tutorials. That's
Those are great. We all love free tutorials.
Yep.
Man. Yeah. Well, man, love you, Pablo. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon.
Peace out.